we are live over on Twitch right now, but not quite over on YouTube. There we go. We are now live. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome. And thank you for tuning into another episode of the Bearded IT Dad, where we give you advice and insight on how to grow your career in the IT field. My name's Dakota, and tonight we are just doing an impromptu live stream. I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys and give you advice about the IT field. If you're looking to enter or advance your career in the field, I am here to give you advice. To give you guys a little bit of background, I went from a bulldozer operator, and in less than 3 years, I advanced myself to the director of network operations for one of my local ISPs. And I want to help encourage you on how to grow your career in the IT field. So if you have any questions at all about anything related to the IT field, make sure you drop them in the chat. If you guys can hear and see me okay, make sure and let me know in the comments below. Let's see. Mook Nation is here. Looks and sounds good on Twitch. Thank you, Mook. I am so glad it looks good. I was having some audio sync issues. I've already done some actual recording tonight. You guys will be seeing a couple episodes coming out here soon. So if you are new to the channel, like I said, we give advice and insight on how to grow your career in the IT field. And we just anything in regards to the IT field, we are here to help you. So, and one second here. Yes, everything is working smoothly tonight. If you guys were here last week for the live stream, we were having some technical difficulties, and I think we've gotten most of those bugs worked out. I don't hear screaming from the other room that my mic is muted or anything, so I must be doing it much better. So if you have any questions, make sure and drop them in the chat. Welcome, everyone. So one thing I want to talk about is for those of you who are just looking to enter the IT field that are kind of like in the position I was in. I was just unhappy. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I had a passion and a love for technology, but I didn't know how to make that transition into that next step, into that next job, how to enter the IT field. I dropped out of college. Just college wasn't for me, and it's not for everyone. And I really didn't have any guidance on how to enter the career field, the IT career field. And I found a YouTube channel, much like this one, that really just kind of motivated me to go out and start applying for jobs. Don't worry about certifications. Don't worry about your past experience. Really go out there and apply, and at least try to get into those entry-level IT jobs. And it was that. So I did just that. I went out and started going to networking events. I started talking to other people in the IT field. And this was pre-COVID days when it was a lot easier to go talk, stand in a room with people and, just talk to them. But I went out to these networking events and kind of learned what they were looking for. I tried to find the hiring managers or people that were in a similar position that I was interested in and figure out what skills they had, what they were looking for in people they were hiring, and tried to really start studying those skills. One thing I learned is the CompTIA A Plus was an excellent certification, and that was, I did some more research and I found out that was really a great entry-level certification where if you are looking to break into this job field and get that entry-level help desk position, that build that great foundational position, you really should go out and start studying for your CompTIA A Plus certification. It's one of the greatest certifications out there. Right here in chat, we got Joseph. I have an associate's degree in IT. I am 38. How do I get into a job without experience or a certification? Well, it is absolutely possible because I'm living proof of it. If you're unfamiliar with my story, I used to be a bulldozer operator, and I toot that horn all the time. But I used to be a bulldozer operator. I didn't even have a degree. I had no experience and I had no certifications. And what I did is I just went out and started applying for jobs. Started applying for jobs right away before I got my certification. I did start studying for my CompTIA A Plus, but I was nowhere ready for the first exam, let alone the second exam. when I got my job. But what I did, and I think is the biggest piece of advice if you're looking to enter the IT field and you don't have any experience or certifications, is first of all, list, like if you're studying for the CompTIA Plus or any other IT certification, list that on your resume and list, and go out and schedule your final exam and say, I'm currently studying for the CompTIA Plus and my exam date is such and such date. That will really advance, that will really get your resume into the real hands of someone, those job recruiters. They'll get you past those HR filters. So list your certification you're studying for and go ahead and schedule that exam. That way it gives you pressure to actually not just say you're going to get that exam or get that certification, but that actually puts you under pressure to actually go out and study and get that certification. And if you don't land a job by the time you have that certification, well, then you can put that certification on your resume and list the next certification you're going to start studying for and list that exam date. That is, I think, one of the best tactics you can use if you have no prior job experience and no certifications. Another big recommendation for you is go out and build your own home lab. Like if you have some old computers laying around, or you can even do it with virtual machines, build a home lab and figure out how things work. Figure out, break them, build a Windows server and break it and figure out how to repair it and talk about that on your resume. And, it's kind of difficult to talk about that on your resume, but when you finally get that job interview, talk about how you have your home lab, how you have networking equipment, how you have. Personally, I had networking switches because I was studying for the Cisco CCNA certification. And I actually had built my own home lab. I actually have a YouTube video on that. Here, I will link it up right now. Let's get that pulled up here. I actually created a YouTube video that is still relevant to this day on if you are looking to build your own home lab and start studying for a networking certification, giving you advice on what hardware to get. Here we go, right here. So I know that kind of was a really deep dive there, and I hope that was helpful advice there. And there's that YouTube video I was talking about. So I just dropped it in the chat. Go check that out if you're interested in building your own networking home lab. I lay out all my personal recommendations on hardware I think you should go out and get. And it's really, don't go break the bank. Don't spend a lot of money. And if you can't afford to buy hardware to build your own networking lab, then don't go out and buy hardware. Go out and learn how to set up Packet Tracer and virtualize it all for free. But make sure when you're going into those job interviews, talk about that, because that's huge points. That shows you have the initiative and the drive to learn and go out and figure that stuff out on your own. And that's what you're going to be doing in this career field. And when they see that you already have that drive before they're even talking about offering you a position, that's only going to win you more points. So that's my biggest advice for you. All right, let's get some water. You're welcome. I know I kind of went off on a rant there, but don't let experience or certifications hold you back. When you're applying for jobs and you see that they require like a year of experience, still go out and apply that for that job, because 9 out of 10 times I can guarantee you that is a wish list on those job listings, and almost never they get, they can check off all those boxes. Oh, this person has a year of experience in that, has 5 months experience in that. I can almost guarantee you no one ever gets their perfect person that they're looking for. Those are a wish list, and you should go out and apply, because the worst they're going to say is no, that we're not interested or you don't have enough experience. Then you go on to the next one. Don't let that get you down either. So Joe, oops, wrong spot. I have a couple of Catalyst 2960s and a 2800 series router for my home lab when I was studying for the CCNA. Those are excellent switches and routers. I have, I think, a 3500 a 2800 series router, and a couple of those. I got like each. I maybe spent less than $100 on my hardware, like $20 a piece off of eBay. Those are don't spend much more than $20 a piece on eBay. You can find them dirt cheap. Another place you can look is Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. A lot of times you can find them on there. A lot of times it is fellow people in the IT field that have had built their own home lab and are selling off pieces of it. So definitely, don't break the bank if you're looking to build a home lab to get into networking. But it's really easy to do, and it will look great on your resume. I'm really glad to see I'm not getting near the errors on this live stream tonight. Got them cheap on eBay. Absolutely, that is the way to go, Joe. I think I bought all my gear on eBay with the exception of one switch. I think I got a killer deal on Amazon. Um, but yeah, look on eBay. Look for like the 2800 series Cisco routers. You really only need one or two of those. The 2900 series, Cisco Catalyst switches. Again, like if you had your ideal networking lab setup would be two switches and two routers. That would be your ideal, and you don't need like a 48 port switch. You only need like a 24 port, something basic. Something that just runs the Cisco iOS, something that you can command line into. Go out and get yourself a console cable and a serial to USB, because I highly doubt that anyone out there has a computer that still has a serial port on it. And let me know if you have ever ran across a computer still in production that has the actual serial port on it still. My guess though is no one has them. I'm sure they're still out there, but get yourself a console cable, get yourself some Ethernet jumpers, and start plugging them in, and getting feel that cable click into that network port. It really, I think getting your hands on that equipment really makes a world of difference. So, and actually, I do believe I have another YouTube video on setting up your network switches for building your basic lab. It is really easy to do. So, if you're just joining us, we are just kind of doing an impromptu live stream, talking about advice on entering and advancing your career in the IT field. And if you have any questions, make sure and drop them in the chat, either over here on YouTube or on Twitch or on Facebook. We are also live streaming on Facebook, and I should probably pull up the Facebook chat as well. Let's take a look here. I always forget to pull up the Facebook chat. Oh, look, we happen to be live. Okay. No one talking over there yet. So, like I said, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Really, anything about the IT field, I'm here to help. I was in that position where I felt stuck. I felt like I couldn't get out of the blue collar hardworking jobs. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those jobs. It just wasn't for me. I needed a job that I was mentally challenged daily, and I just wasn't at my at previous jobs. So it was, like I said, it was a channel like this that helped me get into this field and get me to where I am today as a director of network operations. I am living my dream job, and you know what? I did it in 3 years. In 3 years, I was able to advance myself, just because I had the determination and the willingness to learn new skills. I was able to go from an entry level help desk position to the director of network operations. And I don't have any college experience. I have my A plus certification and a basic Cisco certification, and that's it. So, Certifications aren't everything. You can achieve those high-end jobs without certification, but it all depends on your people skills and your willingness to learn and learn new skills. So let's see. Doesn't look like we have any more questions yet. So sorry about that. I was reading an error I was receiving still. Anyways, there's no more questions. We're probably going to wrap up this live stream here soon. I just want to get on and talk to you guys. See if there's anyone out there that had any questions about advancing their career, trying to enter the IT field. It's difficult. I understand, and um, you know, sometimes you really don't know where to turn and what to do. Um, you know what certifications you should get and what career path is right for you. And sometimes it's hard to figure that out until you jump in with both your feet into this field. So let's see, we got a question here. Oops. Princess Amber 2 asks, how long should I study for the CompTIA A plus? That is a kind of a trick question. Everyone learns at different speeds, and everyone learns differently. Personally, I'm a hands-on learner. I have to get in there with my hands and figure out how things work. I have to lab it up. I have to try to break it and put it back together. Um, I've seen people get study and pass both their tests for the A plus. The A plus is a two part test. I've seen people do it in a month. Um, that is ridiculous, and you probably won't retain a lot of that knowledge. Um, More likely, what I would probably expect is 6 months. 6 months is probably a reasonable time frame to study for and take both of your exams. If you split up evenly, that gives you 3 months to study for one of them and 3 months to study for the other one. That is if you're working and stuff. This really depends on how much time do you have to devote to studying. Princess Amber 2 says, currently studying for it and trying to make a career transition into it. If you're currently working, it can take several months to study. It depends on also how you're studying. Are you using like Professor Messer? Are you using e-learning platform like CBT Nuggets? Do you have flashcards made like on your phone, and are you able to study your flashcards on your lunch at your current job? Or it really depends on how devoted you are. I've seen people do it, like I said, study and take both tests in a month. Just really cram, spend all their time of the day studying. That is impractical, and like I said, you will not retain the knowledge. I would really, in honesty, give yourself at least 3 months for each exam, and that way you can really know and study that information and have it down pat. So, hopefully that was helpful. And if you need to speed up that process, like I said, get yourself a set of flashcards. When I studied for my A plus, I used CBT Nuggets. They gave me actually a set of flashcards I could use on my cell phone and study. I had different topics on there that helped me study for the A plus certification. So that was one really useful tool, I think, that really helped me along. So let's see. You are using Professor Messer videos and notes, Udemy, Mike Myers, and Test Out. You are really hitting lot of the good methods. I use Professor Messer as well when studying for my A plus certification. Professor Messer is a great resource. Mike Myers, I've heard great things about Udemy course and test out. You know, if you have plenty of time to devote to it, it's really just how comfortable you feel about your knowledge. If you feel like you know all your stuff, then go and you do great on your test out exams, then by all means schedule your exam and go take it. You know, it really is up to you how comfortable you feel with that knowledge. If you feel comfortable, don't procrastinate and put it off. Go out and take that exam. Don't second guess yourself, because more than likely you'll do great on it. If you don't feel confident in it yet, like I said, get some flashcards. Find a different method. Maybe the way you're studying for your A plus isn't quite the right way, isn't the way your brain learns. So that's my advice to you. It's really hard for me to say what is an acceptable amount of time. But I think you are studying the right way. You're using great resources. Like I said, Professor Messer. And if you say Professor Messer and notes, if you're using the Professor Messer study notes, those are really great. I've heard a lot of people really happy with that, and had great success for it. So I've never used Udemy's Mike Myers course, but I've heard a lot of people say great things about it. So I have no problem recommending it. I just because the people I know who have used that Udemy Mike Myers course, I really trust, and I think it's a great course. And a lot of people use test out as well. So I think you're approaching it the right way, and it's just really how comfortable do you feel about it. So yeah, thanks for the advice. You're welcome. Okay. Ronzella asks, I feel stuck. I work as an MSP at a level 2 tech. What is the best way to move into cybersecurity? My first question to you: have you started studying at all for cybersecurity? I think one of the best entry level cybersecurity certifications out there is the CompTIA Security Plus. I've recommended a lot of CompTIA products tonight, but really, a lot of employers won't even look at your resume in the security field unless you have that Security Plus certification. So start studying for that Security Plus certification. Talk to your employer too. If there's not any necessarily job opportunities in the security field with your employer, they might still be willing to pay for your certification or pay for your study material to study for your Security Plus certification. But that is my biggest advice for you. Talk to your employer, see if they may be willing to pay for your Security Plus certification. If there's any potential growth with them. If there is not, still go out, start studying for that Security Plus certification, and start learning all there is to know. We were just talking about Professor Messer not too long ago. Professor Messer has a free Security Plus course, complete course on YouTube, and he does monthly Security Plus study groups. Professor Messer is a great resource. Another great e-learning platform that I really liked was CBT Nuggets. They have a wonderful Security Plus, and so does IT Pro TV. Start studying for your Security Plus, and once you start feeling pretty confident, maybe after like a month or so of studying for your Security Plus, start applying for those Security Plus or those security jobs, those cybersecurity jobs, those entry level cybersecurity jobs. Start applying for them and list that you are currently studying for your Security Plus and you plan on taking your exam on X date. That way, that gets you past all those HR filters that will not even consider you unless you have the Security Plus, and get you into the hands of a recruiter or an HR person, and they're like, oh, they don't have the Security Plus, but they're studying for it, and they've already committed to a date to take their exam. That is, I think, one of the best things, and that's a proven technique that I use myself to get get past those HR filters and into the hands of someone to decide whether or not they want to interview you. So that's my biggest advice. You should never feel stuck in this field. There is too many opportunities for growth, and I understand the feeling stuck feeling, because my first job as an IT support specialist, when I started looking for another position, I wasn't getting any interviews. I wasn't getting any feedback. And I'm like, wow, maybe I'm just not good enough, which wasn't the case at all. I just wasn't applying myself properly and putting out the right information on my resume to get those jobs, to get those interviews. So hopefully that was helpful, Ronzilla. If you have any more questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are talking about entry level positions and or really any IT career and how to advance your career in the IT field. So if you have any questions related to the IT field, any tech questions at all, make sure and drop them in the chat and we will make sure and answer them. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure and leave any questions you have in the comments. I really try to get to everyone's comments within a few days. In the past, I wasn't so great at that, but I've really tried to step up my game and get back to everyone. Like I said earlier, I sound like a broken record, but it was a YouTube channel like this that gave me the encouragement to step out of my comfort zone and enter the IT field. So if there's any way I can give back to this community to help someone else pursue their dreams, that's what I'm here for. I'm living my dream job. I'm here now to help you guys. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. Let's see. Awesome. Let's go over and check Facebook, see if there's any comments over there. It doesn't look like we have anything yet. Ronzilla, thank you for the advice. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. That feeling stuck feeling, it's terrible. And, personally, I dealt with anxiety and PTSD, and that stuck feeling was the worst feeling ever. I felt that before I entered the IT field, and I felt it in the IT field. And just know it's not gonna always be that way. You will find a way on to advance your career. Just the right opportunity hasn't came along yet. And just go out there and start applying yourself. Let's see here. Alrighty. Well, it's starting to get late over here. If you guys don't have any more questions here in the next couple minutes, I think we're gonna wrap up the live stream. Like I said, I just want to hop on and talk to you guys, give you guys advice. If you're not already, make sure and subscribe. We have a lot more videos coming out. One of the videos I was working on tonight is my path. I talk about my path from entering the IT field to a basic help desk position and what the steps I took to become a director of network operations. And I did all that in 3 years with no college degree and very basic entry level IT certifications. So I know it's possible. Alrighty. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream for tonight. It was great talking to you guys. Like I said, if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, and I will get back to everyone. Again, thank you for tuning in. I hope this was informative for you. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, make sure and let us know. All right. Again, thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a great evening. Really quick question that just came in last minute, saved by the buzzer. Ronzilla asked, Could you advise us viewers if being a generalist or being a specialist is better? Being a generalist or being a specialist is better. Okay. You know, that's a difficult question because I can make an argument for both sides. In my career, I was more so a generalist. My very first position was an IT support specialist. I was a jack of all trades. I worked on networking. I did basic stuff like password resets. I designed the complete IT infrastructure for several brand new hotels from the ground up. I worked on printers. I did it all. And I felt that was very. I felt that I really enjoyed it. I got to work on a lot of different technologies, and it really built out my resume. And I felt it gave me more job opportunities. On the same hand, you could argue that hurt me. Where if I would have spent the same amount of time being a specialist on specializing in one track, such as networking, I potentially could have advanced my career in networking. My focus has always been networking. I always wanted to be like a network administrator. And now I'm a director of network operations. I achieved my goal by being a generalist. So I think my personal opinion is being a generalist and being a jack of all trades, make yourself more useful in the workplace is the better than just becoming a specialist. Becoming a specialist might have the potential of, in the very long term, making you more money, especially if you go into like a security specialist or maybe a VoIP and communication specialist. Being a specialist in certain tracks in IT definitely can make you more money. Absolutely. But there might be less job opportunities in the specific field you're in the area you want to be. So it's really a catch 22. It's really hard to say. So I hope that was helpful. All right. With that said, we are actually going to wrap up the stream this time. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy.